folks, this is Rainiac, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, the second story of 5 in the new series of Doctor Who. Well, I say I actually have a special guest with me. Introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, I'm FreezingInferno. I love this program about a blue box and a weirdo.
Who doesn't?
Tommy.
True. So, Frezno, let's get straight to the point. Oh, before we get into the episode, I should say again, traditional spoiler alert, don't watch this until you've watched the episode.
Yeah, River Song alert. Spoilers.
Oh god, you mentioned River Song in the first minute. People are going to start watching already.
So,
let's just get straight into it, Frezno. What was your opinion, and I know you have quite a few, of Dinosaurs on a Spaceship?
alright, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Real talk here. This was not the best episode of Doctor Who there ever was, but it is the most fun episode of Doctor Who we've had in a while.
I think that's a very good way of summing it up. Like, it's just a fun romp is what it is.
Exactly. I mean, it lays its cards straight out on the table. Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Indeed, although I kind of had a problem with Moffat using again the eye-catching title.
Well, nothing too wrong with that.
Oh yeah. Tune in next time for Let's Kill Hitler. What?
That, along with the revelation at the end of Good Man Goes to War, is just...
Yes, mind-blowing. But we're tangenting a little here.
Yeah, we're going back in time, which we're not quite supposed to do. That rickety old TARDIS is putting us back in Series 6, so whoop, whoop.
Yeah, and the less said about Series 6, the better. So, yeah, back to Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. It wasn't necessarily a good episode, but it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And since I've actually gone ahead and made some notes, I thought we'd tackle this scene by scene, or at least plot point by plot point. So our opening, first of all, was really strong.
Yeah.
I mentioned last week during the Silent of the Daleks review how it ticked all the boxes for, and here's one of those future spoilers I was talking about, the first story for the new companion, how it ticked all the boxes like a checklist. This, I think, ticked all the boxes for a strong opening. We get introduced to our new characters straight away. We're instantly told who they are and what they're doing here. Then we got some comedy with Brian Pond. I know he's Brian Williams, but no, he's not. He's Brian Pond. And then, of course, the Doctor getting all giddy with Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Wow.
Although, Fresno, was I the only one that was really weirded out seeing Lestrade from Sherlock, Arthur Weasley, and Argus Filch all with the same story?
Well, it's not unprecedented. I mean, David Tennant was Barty Crouch Jr., so Harry Potter and Doctor Who have crossed
True,
before.
but at times it's like I was watching a bizarre Harry Potter Sherlock Doctor Who crossover.
Well, it could happen. I mean, certainly, I bet if you look on the internet right now, you can find fan fictions to that regard, but...
Don't give fanfiction.net ideas, please.
I'm already typing.
But we're tangenting again. So as I said, it introduced our characters, and I want to talk a little bit about those new characters. First of all, John Riddell. My God.
Well, it's Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I mean, you're obviously going to think of Jurassic Park, so you've obviously got to have a Robert Muldoon character.
But not only was he Robert Muldoon, he was perhaps the best, this is just my controversial opinion, he was my favourite temporary companion since Vastra and Strax.
Vastra and Strax, wow.
Well, Strax was great just because of the one line about the magnificent quantities of lactic fluid, but...
I like Strax. We're going back to Series 6 again, which is... You just
we can mention it in passing. We can mention it in passing, just not a huge tangent off into Series 6.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I liked the fact how they actually gave him an actual character arc, despite the fact they only had 45 minutes, and a hell of a lot to cram to those 45 minutes, and we'll get into that in a moment. They actually gave him a character arc. He started out as a ruthless big game hunter, and by the end, he's studying the dinosaurs and not killing them.
Doesn't want to piss off the Doctor.
Well, partly that, but partly he had a change of heart after he saw Solomon massacre Tricey.
Whoa, was he even there for that? Oh,
yeah, he was.
He was what? Yeah.
They were watching on the screen.
Okay. You're getting a little ahead of yourself there with that, but anyway.
I tend to trip over my thoughts when I review. Nothing new, but...
These reviews are like traveling in the TARDIS. You go all over the place.
And I think you've made that joke before, but we'll run with it. Unfortunately, Nefertiti, not quite so much a strong character, in my opinion.
Nefertiti was just River Song in Egyptian... In fact, River Song has been in Egyptian garb before. The Big Bang.
As Cleopatra, and now we're tensioning back to Series 5. This is going so well.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a lady, and, ooh, I'm flirty and sassy, and I'm my own woman.
I think the problem with Nefertiti is she didn't have much of an actual character other than, I'm an Egyptian queen.
And, ooh, I'm sassy.
I mean, she did get to do the whole noble sacrifice thing, even if it wasn't a true noble sacrifice, and we'll get to that when we talk about the solution to this episode. But she just... And I understand why she was in the episode, but I don't think she was that
essential.
Good. Yeah, essential. I don't think she was a necessary part.
Yeah.
Even though Chris Chibnall made her a necessary part, but again, we'll get to that when we talk about the overall plot.
Yeah.
And finally, Brian Pond.
Oh, Brian Pond.
No, he's not Brian Williams, he's Brian Pond. Shut up.
Brian Weasley.
Brian Weasley, yes. He was pretty much brought in as a plot device to drive the solution at the end, which we're going to talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think he was a pretty good character.
I liked him. And you got some funny lines out of him. Brian, do you have any vegetable matter in your trousers? Just my bowls.
What sort of a man doesn't carry a trowel on him?
Yeah.
I thought he was necessary to the
I liked
story.
him. He sort of reminded me almost of like Arthur Dent from Hitchhiker's Guide. Just,
Yeah, he did have a kind of an Arthur Dent vibe to him. I hadn't thought about that before, but you're right there.
he even kind of looks like Arthur Dent to me.
It's not the first time the Doctor's taken along a relative of a companion for the ride.
Yeah, but he's a lot better than Jackie Tyler. I'll give you that.
But maybe not quite as good as Wilf, but...
No.
He served his purpose in this episode, and I wouldn't mind seeing him again.
Wilf is like God tier.
I wouldn't mind seeing Brian Pond again.
Indeed.
And of course, there was one more new character that didn't get much screen time, but we have to mention him because he was perhaps the best part of the episode. Tracy.
Tracy! Oh, yeah.
Tracy, no!
Oh, Tracy. I think there wasn't a dry eye in England.
Yeah, the CGI character got killed, and there wasn't a dry eye in England. That really bodes well for us. Am I crazy? Or was the CGI on the dinosaurs not that great?
Serviced the episode. I mean,
it did its job. I mean, the things that weren't kestrels were pretty well animated.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It served its purpose. They're dinosaurs. They're on a spaceship. You're not really supposed to go into it and go, wow, this is CGI looks fake. You're supposed to go and go, oh, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, but given how well this show has been in the past, and given the fact that for their budget they have made some terrific CGI
True,
in former episodes.
This always has been a show where budget, they just sort of get by.
In New Who, maybe not so much, but certainly in Old Who, yes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the CGI. I couldn't do anything better because it's not my that's not my expertise.
Yeah, it was good though. It served
But
purpose, I think.
the CGI on Tracy was all right, and when he was dying,
Poor guy.
yeah. And that brings us to our villain for the episode.
Hargus Filch. I mean Solomon.
Solomon, yeah. Did you feel he was an interesting villain?
Not really.
Or was he just kind of there?
He's just kind of, I'm a space pirate. Bleh.
Space pirate, bounty hunter, treasure seeker, kind of a guy.
Yeah.
But I did like how he appeared to be a victim at first.
Yeah. Savalon gloves with actual teeth.
Sorry?
Oh, you don't get my reference. You don't want to know.
Yeah, and I don't think the people watching this do either, so we'll move on.
Okay. I'm talking about old Doctor Who, though.
I'm sure you did.
Anyway.
But he must be one of the most vicious standalone villains we've had in quite some time, Solomon. I mean, he committed mini-genocide against the Silurians on the Ark.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it was pretty neat to see them back again.
Yeah, that was a very nice touch because, of course, the last time we saw Chris Chibnall do a story, it was a Silurian two-parter.
And, well, oh God. There's something else I could mention that I just realized about Chris Chibnall and his previous work.
Please do.
Right. So they're on the beach, right? And there are pterodactyls coming at them. You ever see Torchwood?
Oh, you're not going to reference what I think you're going to reference.
Yeah, in that horrible Cyberwoman episode, the Cyberwoman fights a pterodactyl.
Oh, we were going so well as well.
Well, to Chris Chibnall's credit, this is much better than Cyberwoman.
To Chris Chibnall's credit, this is probably the best story he's ever penned.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, I liked 42, but it was kind of just there.
I cannot remember a thing about 42 because it was like 5 years ago.
And that I think says it all about 42.
Yeah, and the Silurian two-parter, okay.
Bland.
Yeah.
Apart from the mega shock at the end with Rory.
Yeah, the end. That was, yeah, but we're going back to Series 5 territory, so Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
We can touch on it. You don't have to keep saying Dinosaurs on a Spaceship every time we go back to Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, dude.
We've got to remind you all what we're talking about.
But it was interesting that Chibnall chose to use the Silurians again because this might be, and I might be preempting myself here, this might just be setting a trend for the series. I mean, last week, aside of the Daleks, Moffat brought back the nanogenes. Which he invented back in Series 1. Well, I say he invented them. Probably it was RTD's invention, and he asked them to include them. But he used them in Series 1 and brought them back to Series 7.
Are those really the same thing, though?
Well, they said nanogenes.
Well, in Empty Child, it was like medical nanogenes. Here, it's just like.
But they still transformed people into something else.
I guess it doesn't really feel the same.
But my point is here, Chris Chibnall used the Silurians 2 series ago, and now he's using them again. Is that going to be a recurring theme, do you think?
Well, next episode doesn't really seem to have any recurring elements to it.
True, and we'll get to that towards the end. I do want to touch on the town called Mercy, but that's for the end. We're still talking about Dinosaurs on the Spaceship here. Amy and Rory, do you think they had a good episode?
Oh, not bad. They really didn't do that much. Amy was sort of just on her own being, well, Doctor-esque, and I liked it.
Well, you've seen my review of Assignment of the Daleks right from last week, and you know I thought that it was not a very strong episode for Amy.
Oh, not really, yeah.
This was much better. This felt much more like the actual Amy.
Yeah, this is Amy Fond.
And giving her companions of her own, however temporary it was going to last, was brilliant.
There you go.
I loved her interactions with Riddell.
I won't have my companions flirting.
Yeah, that was great as well. And I kind of like how the Doctor's genius, or part of the Doctor's genius, rubbed off on her, because first thing you do, press buttons.
You travel around in that TARDIS for a while, you pick up on some things.
But no, I liked her interactions with Riddell, although I liked just about everything Riddell did in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I like when she referred to herself as Rory's queen and said, "Please don't tell him I said that."
That's good. Just the thing I realized, this episode was less about Amy and Rory, and more about Amy and then Rory, you know?
Yeah, and Rory was more in the background this episode as
He had
opposed to
some
last
good moments
week.
with his dad, you know.
And the bit where he was nursing Brian back to health was nice.
Gets to show off cool nurse skills.
And also when the Doctor said, "Rory Pond, you genius," and then slapped him.
No, he kissed him. Then he realized the plan was...
He kissed him and praised him, and then he said, "Of course that's not going to work. Why would it not work?" Slap,
Don't
slap,
get my
slap,
hopes
slap.
up.
Did you think Matt Smith did it? Well, you always think Matt Smith does a good job, but do you think the Doctor had a good story?
Oh, the Doctor was great. I think my favorite line was when Rory and Brian were talking on the beach. "Why don't you put travel on your Christmas list?" "I'm 31, Dad. I don't have a Christmas list." I
do!
That's great. That's Matt Smith right there.
I can't make my mind up if I like goofy comedy Matt Smith or dark and brooding, serious Matt Smith better? And we got both of that in this episode.
We did. We'll get to the serious side later, but...
We really have to, but first, we mentioned Solomon, how he wasn't very good.
Oh, good.
But he was like, I don't know, Ming the Merciless compared to his robot companions.
Mitchell and Webb.
I mean, what happened to Mitchell and Webb, dude?
I don't even know who Mitchell and Webb are.
David Mitchell and Robert Webb are a pair of comedians from this country. They're very popular.
They're very close to you.
I mean, they were basically comic relief.
Yeah, well...
And yet they shot a dinosaur!
Yeah, they caused well, not the only death, but they caused one of the two deaths in this episode.
They caused the only villain orchestrated death, shall we say.
Yeah.
Alright, we've tripped around it long enough. It's time to talk about the last 10-15 minutes.
Oh, we're going to talk about that scene, huh?
Because there was a lot going on and there was a lot building up to it. First of all, foreshadowing again about, and I know we're not supposed to talk about future spoilers, but I'll just quickly touch on one.
Yeah,
The
you're
little
warned,
foreshadowing.
Internet. You're warned, guys. So.
You're warned, Internet. Just a little foreshadowing with Amy and the Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Saying how you'll outlive me, or vice versa.
And then again, the sad look at the end when Brian's just sitting there on the TARDIS, he's eating his lunch, looking into the Earth.
Oh, that was a wonderful moment. Did you catch the musical hint there?
I did not. Elaborate.
I'm pretty sure it was the same, because I'm a pretty good guy when it comes to picking out what music is used in what scene.
Mm-hmm.
Unless my ear deceives me, and I went back and watched it again just to confirm, it's the same music used when Flesh Amy is being destroyed.
Wow.
At the end of the Almost People. So, I'm probably just conjecturing here, but I don't think it's going to end well for Rory and Amy.
Oh, God, I don't think so. Well, either. But we'll see what happens.
And I don't think
three episodes left.
We've got 3 episodes left, and I said Brian Pond, I'd like to see him show up again. Thinking about it, he's not going to show up very much, is he? There's only 3 episodes left.
Yeah. Oh, he could have a Wilf-like role.
I can't see them keeping Brian Pond around if Amy and Rory are leaving.
True.
If they're even leaving for good, we don't know for sure.
We'll find out, yeah. It'd be nice to have him come back. I mean, Martha left, and she came back for a couple episodes in Series 4.
Yeah, true.
And then Series 4 also later had the David Tennant Companion Power Hour.
Oh, God. Don't go there.
Okay, let's...
So the ending was really probably the strongest part of this episode, the last 10-15 minutes. We went from a really sort of goofy, comedy, fun romp to dark, serious.
Are we going to talk about Solomon's downfall?
Oh, we've got to, because this was, to me, was the highlight of the episode.
Very interesting, indeed.
And also the shock of the episode.
Shock, yeah.
I mean, he's not a... He's an evil man, as I've already explained. I think he's probably one of our most vicious, standalone humanoid villains that we've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
You know, not counting the Cybermen or the Daleks or any monsters like the Weeping Angels. I'm talking human enemies, probably the most vicious we've had in quite some time.
Well, the Silent and Man of Clavorium, they're pretty vicious.
If you count them as... In terms of death toll, though, and Kavarian's death toll is nowhere near
Yeah.
Solomon's. But did he ever get his comeuppance? My God.
Now, there's a lot of debate about this, because basically the Doctor blew up a guy and taunted him about it and said, well, you're getting yours, you ass.
Well, no, the Indian Space Agency blew up a guy, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know. The Doctor couldn't resolve it. I mean, he could have thrown the little homing beacon out the window of the ship, but no, he stuck it in Solomon's ship and said, the hell with you. Whoosh. You know,
but I think the fact that Solomon, quote-unquote, deserved it, probably takes away some of the callousness of the act.
Well, now, see, the thing about that is, and I'm probably going to share this link with you once we're done here, and you can link it in the description of your review, is that people think that the Doctor's a pacifist because of David Tennant, and I'm a man who never would, I'm not good. But the Doctor's actually a pretty goddamn violent son of a bitch.
No. Family of Blood, End of the World, to name just 2.
Yeah, even in David Tennant's case, you can see that he's done some things to
He is
people.
totally not against engineering situations where people die.
There's a video. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. But it's called "The Doctor's Gonna Bust a Cap in Your Ass," and it just shows like all the scenes in old Doctor Who where the Doctor basically straight up kills dudes.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I think
man, you never would my
one,
ass.
the difference with this particular murder, death, engineered killing, whatever you want to call it, was how involved the Doctor was in it. I mean, in the past, he's engineered a situation where, as a side effect, the villain gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't his intention, and he wanted to save Davros at the end of Journey's End, let's not forget.
Yeah.
So he's not suddenly turned into a straight-up murder machine.
Well, that's
But I like the fact that they brought out his dark side, and I'm kind of hoping that continues.
Dream Lord, Valeyard. Hmm?
Yeah, but I think that's a story for another day. But no, I love Solomon's downfall. It also, again, this ending gave rise to one of the better lines of the episode.
Which one?
So easy two monkeys could operate it. Oh, look, they're going to.
But
This goes back, but that ending did kind of prove what I was saying earlier about Brian Pond, how he was basically brought in as a plot device to engineer the ending because of the whole same gene line thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I need something for Brian Pond to do, said Chris Chibnall. Well, I know, gene thingy.
you could just have Brian Pond being Brian Pond, though, and it would still be a good episode.
You could.
Now, do you remember what I said about this episode being slightly rushed because there was so much to cram in? You had 4 companions, you had Rory's father, you had a villain, 2 robotic stooges, and dinosaurs.
Yeah, there's a lot.
If they'd given this episode just 5 more minutes to give the temporary companions a little bit more face time, and the thing I'm about to explain to you, this would have been even better. People have been asking me, why on earth was the Silurian same gene type thing a thing in the episode?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think back to the end of Cold Blood, or just Cold Blood in general, there is a throwaway line about how the Silurians can reproduce asexually.
Okay.
And if they do that, then the offspring is genetically identical.
So Chris Chibnall wrote that too, so he's just throwing in his own plot device.
It's actually rather kind of clever
Makes sense in a way.
throwback to his previous story. Another clever throwback is the Doctor having no value.
Yeah, I mean...
But unfortunately this time they didn't blow it by going, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who?
Doctor Who!
Yes, okay. But they've done that twice now, and it's already getting irritating.
We get the point. He did it. That's the
This was a
entire
more
point of
subtle
Series 6.
throwback. This was a more subtle throwback, and I really liked it. But that's the whole reason that I believe. I mean, I could be wrong, and people are probably going to yell at me in the comments for this. That's why I think the whole Silurian gene type thing works. And also, as Solomon said, he's a prisoner on the ship because he couldn't operate it.
There you go.
It was just him and his 2 robots.
I don't know. The writing is okay in this episode. Chris Chibnall certainly, as you said, is the best goddamn thing he's written for Doctor Who.
And finally, I refuse to mention the last 10-15 minutes without bringing up John feckin' Riddell, because my God.
You know what I really wanted to see almost is that when he was shooting the raptors, he turns and sees the other one. Clever girl.
Yeah, I could have seen that happening, but...
And again, nobody ever said, I'm tired of these freaking dinosaurs on this freaking spaceship.
They would never have got away with that in a million years, dude.
No, I guess they wouldn't have.
But no, that line where he says to Amy, dinosaurs at my back, a lady by my side, about to be blown up, I don't think I've been happier. That just summed up Riddell. I wasn't a huge fan of him suddenly becoming madly enamoured of Queen Nefertiti.
Yeah, that felt a little rushed, but...
I'm sure the Egyptians are going to notice their queen has suddenly disappeared.
That's a thing I keep... She's like, oh, she's going to run off with Solomon. So I thought, oh, gee, doesn't that mean that, history get fucked up? But then she goes off with Riddell and Africa, too. But history...
I mean, I would love... I'm probably alone in this request. I would love Riddell to come back every now and again.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think he will because...
Well, none of the temporary companions from Good Man Goes to War have come back.
Yeah,
So,
but Rupert Graves is quite a popular actor.
again,
He's in lots of
then-
things.
Again, half the companions in Good Man Goes to War died.
And since you've mentioned, Strax, why? And since you mentioned Good Man Goes to War, back to my Silurian, just briefly, the Silurian gene type rant, that's why Alea and Restek and Vastra all look identical, because they're from the same gene type.
There you go.
And now you know.
I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah, please don't make that reference. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say, and then some, about this episode.
We talked a lot about the dinosaurs on the spaceship. It was pretty good, but you wanted to mention the preview for a town called Mercy.
I certainly did, because this looks amazing.
Yeah. Cyborg Cowboy. Right?
The Gunslinger, already I like the Gunslinger, and I'm not into Westerns, don't get me wrong.
I like Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, there's a Western scene in that, isn't there?
That's a Western movie, for God's sake.
Is it all set in West?
Pretty much the entire movie is set in the Wild West.
I've only seen the first Back to the Future, so that's me.
Oh my God, fix
and
that!
And why did all the viewers stop watching at the 32nd minute? Why did all the views suddenly drop to 0? Where did all those downvotes come from?
I have no idea.
But no, it looks really fun. We could be going back to Darker Doctor territory again, which is brilliant.
It's going to be neat, I think.
And the trailer really gave me a movie vibe off it.
Boom, boom, boom. They're going for the old Western feel. Ooh.
And finally, we can't finish off without mentioning what's probably going to turn out to be my favourite line of the entire series. Everyone who isn't an American, drop your gun.
Ha ha ha. It's going to be good.
I don't think that's ever going to get old. So that was a...
We talked a lot about dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Yeah, but I think it was justified. I think it deserved a longer review.
Okay, yeah.
And we had a lot to talk about. So that was a review of Dinosaurs on Spaceship. Thanks for joining me, Freezing Inferno.
Yeah, problem.
And I'm afraid I'm going to be flying solo next time, guys, for the review of A Town Called Mercy. That'll be coming sometime midweek next week, probably Tuesday or maybe even Wednesday. Until then...
Maybe even Thursday. Who knows? Nobody.
Until then, this is Rainiac saying TTFN.
That's all for now.